Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VConViz channel, where today I'm going to be taking a look at all the cards in Tier 1. I'm going to be ranking them each and giving my reasons why I think each is in their individual tier. I have ranked them between S and D, S being the very top, like super tier, and then we have A, B, C, D, A being the second best, B third best, and so forth, D being the worst. I've listed out all these cards Tier 1. I plan to do one of these reviews for each of the tiers and the heroes, so make sure to stay tuned for more videos like this in the future and for all different types of stuff, because if you are watching right now, what you should be doing, if you have not been to my channel recently or this is the first video you've seen of me, make sure to hit the subscribe button, because I am posting pretty much very regular Castleburn content above any other YouTuber right now on YouTube. And when I get to 1,000 subscribers, which is a way off in the future, if I can get 1,000 subscribers in 6 months, I plan on doing a 24-hour live stream for all of you, which will be extremely painful for me, but hopefully pretty funny for all of you to watch. So make sure to help me towards that goal and help you towards your payment of getting a 24-hour live stream. That's insane. Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, let's get right into today's video. First off, I just wanted to say a disclaimer. Again, another disclaimer. All of this is based on my opinions. None of this is factual or anything like that. So you can win with any of these cards I'm presenting above here, even if your card is in D tier, A tier, B or C, or S. I ranked those all weird order. But if your card's anywhere, you can still win games. Skill is definitely a big component of this game. It's just my opinions on how strong cards are. And it's basically, this video is more of a call to developers on what cards they need to balance and where this game kind of needs to go. And so we're going to start off first with S tier, and really there's only one card that I can put in the S tier above everything else. This card is ridiculous, and I bet you already know what it is. It is going to be the Troll Slingers. Troll Slingers are so strong right now. You can push them with it. You can push with Troll Slingers in tier 2 as your main tier 2 card, going up against Rifleman, Sorceress. They beat them all if you have those Shield Mouse to back them up. And Troll Slingers are just so valued. They can get you mana advantages across the board. They allow you to play super aggressive tier 1, get advantages, push into tier 2, and allows you just to really steamroll through the game. Again, you can win with other cards as well, but Troll Slingers are just so strong right now. And I think they probably need to be nerfed, but honestly, not extremely much. Just a little bit of a nerf to kind of bring them down to A tier here. A tier is where we're going to be seeing a lot of the meta players, or meta outside of Troll Slingers, right? We have Vikings as our first tier card here. Vikings have a lot of HP and it does a lot of damage. They're allowed to kind of compete up against the Troll Slingers. You see a lot of players using Vikings as maybe a semi-counter to Troll Slingers, being able to beat them in the ladder. Again, Troll Slingers aren't the only way to win this game. You have Vikings, which are really strong right now as well, and allow a player to also be very aggressive. And if you mess up against a player playing with Vikings, you're kind of the dumps here. So next off, we got Bomber Mouse in this tier, in this rank A. And the reason for this is the Bomber Mouse allows a lot of capabilities regarding how much mana trades you can get. Bomber Mouse, if you're going up against Vikings, if you're going basically up against anything, you can play Bomber Mouse into that. It's a little bit hard against ranged things like the Troll Slingers, but Bomber Mouse, if you can get some Bomber Mice off, you can get a mana trade with basically every single troop in the game. The only troop that I think costs less than the Bomber is the Goblin. But when someone rushes with the Goblin, they're usually coming with three or four Goblins in a little clump, and one Bomber Mouse can take out all of those, and then you're getting positive mana trades again. In rank A, we also have the Bomb. This spell is fantastic right now against the Troll Slingers primarily. It also works really well at countering all of your Goblins. People are rushing you with Goblins. Bomb works really well, but primarily this spell is so good because it allows the positive mana trades against the Troll Slingers. If Troll Slingers are nerfed, this card's probably going to be going back down into B tier right now, and maybe even possibly C tier, because honestly, it's not that great. Following up in next tiers, like when you go to tier 2 in game, it's not that great of a card, but starting at tier 1 against Troll Slingers is so good, and that's why it's in rank A. Next, we're going to be talking about the Shield Mouse. Shield Mouse is still really strong. They definitely nerfed it a little bit. It costs definitely a bit more than it used to. It used to be 16, I believe, and now it's 18, and I think it's in a much better spot. I do not think the Shield Mouse needs to be nerfed at all. I actually don't think any of these rank A cards need to be nerfed. as there's quite a variety of playstyles in this rank A, and it's okay to be able to play around them. And they're all just really good cards. Shield Mouse, you can't really, it's not a game-winning card, but it's a card that allows you to showcase your skill by being able to distract or take aggro and allow backline troops to deal more damage. Last card I have in rank A is the Poison. The Poison is a really great crowd control spell. The reason why this is in rank A is, again, against the Troll Slingers or the Vikings. It both does really well against that, or any tier 1 card. It can also be used against many tier 2 cards, which is why I have it in rank A. Unlike the Bomb doesn't really do much against tier 2 cards like Rifleman, but Poison still can kill Rifleman if you have a perfect Poison where it gets them the entire time. I might be leaning towards rank B in the future for Poison. It's one of those that I might be a little bit iffy on, but it's still a really good spell. You can definitely get positive mana trades out of it, and it's one that I think is deserving a spot A, but it's a little bit questionable. It's the same with Bomb in a certain way. Next, we're going to move on to tier B, or rank B, not tier B, sorry, rank B, and that's where we're going to start off with Goblins. Goblins are definitely a really good strategy right now, as people can get really caught off guard by the Goblins, but it's really not that strong in comparison to where you have Troll Slingers and the Bomber Mouse. Both of these cards are able to take out the Vikings pretty easily, and the only way you're going to lose against Vikings is if you get rushed really fast. And although the Goblins have a lot of damage, and they can actually pretty much 1v1 Troll Slingers, they can't really do anything against Bomber Mouse, though. The reason why they're in a B tier and are not a prominent strategy right now is just because of the fact that they take up a tier slot, and if you get countered on tier 1 by the player getting that Bomber Mouse or something, like, you can still beat Goblins with the Troll Slingers, but Goblins can take out Troll Slingers if the Troll Slingers are attacking a camp, and Goblins have a chance to get the advanced attack on them, and Troll Slingers don't have a chance to respond. But the Goblins take up a spot going into tier 2 and tier 3 that they don't provide any functionality to the game past tier 1 and the very early on parts of tier 1, which is why they're in rank B. Another one that you might be surprised I found I put in rank B is Cat Mages. Cat Mages just fall short when you're coming up against Troll Slingers. I might push them towards rank A. They're kind of in that middle spot between rank A and rank B. You can play with Cat Mages and do completely fine. They definitely are primary strategy, but I gotta put something in rank B here. And Cat Mages aren't definitely the meta. They aren't the best card in the game, but they're one that could contend for rank A, as they definitely do see a lot of play right now, and they definitely are a card that won't take over a game, but they are a really good defensive card, and one that allows you to accelerate into that tier 2, and they definitely won't do, like, pull off some magical play, but Cat Mages, they're still good. They could be tier A here. I just think Viking, Bomber Mouse, and all those cards in tier rank A are just so much better. Well, besides Bomb. Bomb and... I should say Bomb... I should say Bomb... Not what I'm saying. I should say Bomb... Sorry. Say Bomb, Poison, and Cat Mages, all pretty much in the same, like, A, B tier. And now we're going to get into more less seen cards here with the Goblin Marauder. Goblin Marauder, I think, is B tier. I think it's really underrated right now, and still a good card in the game. You can get a lot of positive mana trades. It does take up one spot, but honestly, the pressure that it gives you is still a compensation for that. It's a pretty cheap card, and 2 or 3 hits, you get all the mana back that you cost for that card, plus allowing a lot of pressure, or pushing a lot of pressure on your opponent. I think it's a pretty good card. A lot of strategies can be found from it. Another card I put in tier B, or rank B, I keep saying tier B. Rank B is Isabella's Grimoire. I can't pronounce that perfectly or correctly, or I'm sorry about that. But why I put this spell in here is it's not great tier 1. It's not necessarily great at anything, but if you get this spell, you know that you'll probably be able to possibly defend some early tier 1, and then tier 2 as well. You have the possibility of getting some Earthens or different spells like that. In tier 1 you can get the Bomb, and it doesn't take up a spot, and you can possibly get multiple function of spells that work well in tier 1 and tier 2 for this tier 1 spell technically. And it's just overall a card that I see some people using, and it's a kind of hit or miss spell, but it's definitely not rank C or D, because it's definitely still viable in a lot of different decks right now. Next up, I have another spell, Core of Winter. This spell can be really helpful when it comes to battling out opponents in different stages of the game. And overall, it's not like something amazing, but it's definitely a good spell to have in the deck if you're able to use it or know how to use it properly. I have never really used Core of Winter, but I know players that are really good at using it. I don't think it deserves rank C or D. And it's kind of in the spot where you don't see many players using it. I think it's a little bit underrated too, just because it provides a lot of utility to the game, although it does take up a spot, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, all cards do. Next on rank B, I also have the Demon Blood. Demon Blood, another great spell. I mean, a lot of these spells are going to be coming in for tier in rank B. I think these are the Core of Winter and the Demon Blood cost 0 mana. Let me just double check real quick. Yeah, they cost 0 mana to deploy, which is another benefit to having these spells in your deck. They provide a lot of functionality to the game. Demon Blood, when you're pushing it in, you're having Troll Slingers or something versus other of the same card. Demon Blood can turn the game around in your favor when you have similar cards facing off against each other because it's cost 0 mana. It does take up a slot in your inventory, but I think it's kind of underrated right now. I don't personally use it, but I've seen other players use it into great success. Another card coming at tier B, this is the last one. It's going to be Fire Pillar. This is a great spell to use. It does well against tier 1, tier 2, and not really tier 3 troops. But this is a great spell across tier 1 and tier 2. That's really, it goes up against air. So if you're playing against Harpies, Harpies are really meta right now in tier 2. And Fire Pillar is definitely a great way to fend off against those Harpies. It's definitely also a great counter to not necessarily Vikings, but also Troll Slingers. You can get positive mana trades with your Fire Pillar. And overall, it's just a really great card that can transition well between tier 1 and tier 2. And you'll have fun pretty much using it in all of your games. It doesn't really fit bad into a deck. Now we're going to be moving into rank C here. And this is where we're going to see cards that are not really used at all and cards that I would less recommend using. Like I said, you can win with all the cards in each respective rank. But from rank S to B is where I try and stick most of your decks in, because here we're going to start leaning towards rank C. It starts to get a little fuzzy because there's better options for each one of these cards. First off, we have Archer. Archer tier 1, yeah, okay, you can fight against air, but tier 1, what you're going to be wanting to do is get the aggression going, and you're going to be playing against Troll Slingers and such. You're not really going to have a great time when you're playing Archers against Troll Slingers, because Troll Slingers is just going to win every time. Not going to have a great time playing against Vikings. You can play Archers against Goblins, but Archers really don't serve a purpose. You might as well just go for Troll Slingers, which are just so strong right now. They do so much damage. Archers, when you take them, they take up spot. Yes, they go against air, but you're not going to be using them to fight off Harpies or something of that regard. When you get to tier 2, you're going to have to get Rocketeers to deal with those Harpies, because Archers aren't just going to cut it. Next in our tier C, or rank C, I keep saying tier C, sorry. Rank C, we have Archer Tower. Now, a lot of you'll notice that from S to B, rank S to B, I don't have any towers, and we're going to start getting into the towers here. But I don't think towers are technically in a bad spot right now. I'm ranking them down below just because I don't think they allow a lot of aggression, and I think there are better strategies like the Troll Slingers, like having all the above cards really in your deck, allowing a little bit of aggression in the game. Because I don't think sitting back and just doing your own thing is necessarily the correct way to play the game, and it's not necessarily the correct way, but it's also like I don't know how to say this. When you're kind of just placing down your Archer Towers, you allow the other player a chance of aggression. You're allowing them to make the first move, and sometimes it's not always the best strategy. Again, you can win with Archer Towers. Definitely not the worst thing, but I think they're definitely a tier C card. I wouldn't put them in rank B. This card that I'm about to show, which is Watchtower, I think can actually go up to rank B at some point if people are find out how to use it enough. I've definitely seen some players use it really well, which is definitely why I think it could be a rank B. And I might even say this might be a rank A card right here, just because it does so well against defending the tier 2 Harpies that are so frequent right now. But this card, it just demolishes anything air. It does have very little HP, which is why I'm going to be putting it down in rank C and not from rank B, is because even though it can take care of Harpies very easily, as no HP at all, can be taken out very easily by ground troops, and if your opponent does not go Harpies or something of that regards, you're kind of in the dumps with this watchtower. And although it does provide extra fog of war vision, it's not that big of a deal. Lastly, in rank C, I do have the heal spell. Yes, I've seen players use the heal spell well, and that's with all these cards so far. I've seen everybody using these cards on the ladder, and they're all working fine. It's just some of these cards are better than others, and heal spell is just not cutting it as a spell right now. It definitely needs a little bit of a, I don't know if it needs a buff or something. It needs to adjust. The heal spell, oh, okay, yes, it can go really well with certain decks like leeches. So in that sense, if you're matching up with leeches, it will probably actually creep up to rank A. But if you're just talking tier 1 right now, this heal spell is not going to count in for anything. You're not going to be able to heal up many of your troops. If you're going to want to heal up, you're going to go for that Lana. If you are going heal, you're going to have to match that with leeches. And because you have to have that direct correspondence with leeches, it's basically the only spell, it's the only card that you can play heal with. I'm going to have to put it in rank C. And finally, for the last card that you have not seen here, we have only one card in rank D, and that is the cannon. The cannon is literal zero functionality right now, in my opinion. In this meta, there's literally one better option for everything. You can play Archer Tower if you're feeling like you want to go for a structure. In cannon, they can't attack air, so you're basically getting it, and then your opponents are just going to go Harpies, and you're just going to be done. And then if you want a ground or ground defense thing that can be attack ground troops on tier 2, you might as well go for the ballista. But the cannon, man, it does nothing. I mean, Troll Slingers are just going to absolutely wreck this thing. There's not much to say about this card. Besides, it needs something. It might need a buff. I don't know. Overall, my note to the developers after finishing up this entire list, that was the end of me ranking everything. The Troll Slinger definitely needs a little bit of a nerf. I don't think it needs that much of a nerf. You don't want to take it out of the game, and you definitely want to keep it above Archer and viability in tier 1, as in like only against ground troops. You want to have more DPS than the Archer. I think the Archer might need, I don't know what the Archer needs necessarily. Maybe a little bit of a Troll Slinger buff. Archer, I think, is honestly a good not ever going to be in a really great spot. It's really hard to balance that card. You're going to have Troll Slingers who only deal damage to ground and not archers. One thing that you could eventually do, maybe as an idea, is bump archers to have a higher mana cost and have them do the same amount of damage or DPS as slingers. Just have slingers cost less. And then what you do that for is that on tier 2, you can get cards that counter the Troll Slingers. Well, it's a little bit harder to counter the archers. Besides that, I don't really know how you go about taking account for both of these cards. The Troll Slinger and Archer, man, it's a hard to balance these. Troll Slinger, like I said, needs a nerf. All these cards in rank A I feel like are pretty solid right now, especially Bomber Mouse, Bomb, Shield Mouse, and Poison. Vikings, they're pretty good. They might need a little nerf, but honestly, I don't think so. All these cards are decent, you know. Comes a point where it's really difficult to make the decision, make a call off of which card to put in which tier. And you don't, I mean, unless you want to really shake up the meta, give Marauders a buff or something. Oops, sorry, I'm moving that around. Give Marauders a buff or something with really shaking up the meta. But I feel like everything's in a really good spot for tier 1. Troll Slingers are just OP right now. And this is my opinion. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up. If you guys have enjoyed today's video, this has gone on really long. I hope you all have just enjoyed listening to my voice. But if you're still here at the end, I thank you very much for continuing on, watching the entire review process. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button for more tier 1 or tier 2, tier 3, and hero ranks and whatever. I hope to do this... I hope to do one maybe every week. I don't know. It's very difficult to set up. Takes a lot of time. But I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Peace out, y'all, and have a fantastic rest of your day.